The last major prophet is Daniel. So we're in the book of Daniel, which is about 540 BC in Babylon. They were Jewish exiles like the other prophets, and it talks about him and his three friends. So it's Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I don't know how to say it correctly. And they end up serving the king in Babylon, King Nebuchadnezzar. But they're very holy, so they're like, their faith is like really tested. They don't like to participate in eating food that goes against their beliefs. You know, like in the Old Testament, it talks about like don't eat pork and certain seafood and different things and different kinds of animals. So they're like already kind of butting heads because they don't want to. The king probably feels judged because they don't want to do things that he does. And then Daniel is a prophet, and he's also big on interpreting dreams. So when the king has dreams, he calls for Daniel to interpret them for him. And in the book of Daniel, both the king and Daniel too has dreams, and they're about future kingdoms on earth. Today we don't call them kingdoms. We don't call the United States like kingdoms, but it is for these purposes that they call them kingdoms or empires or rulers, and the kings that are ruling these nations, or leaders, presidents, whatever it is. And so they dream about thrones and statues and animals like beasts, lions, bears, rams, and goats, but they all represent future kingdoms until Jesus' return. And one of the future kingdoms in a dream is ruled by a very ruthless, arrogant king who persecutes Christians. And of course, it doesn't say Christians because Christ's not born yet, but it refers to Son of Man and his servants, and that it's a very ruthless beast. And but in the end, of course, Christ is the ultimate king. Nebuchadnezzar requires all people to bow down and worship him. They will not do that either. Finally, he's had enough, and so he takes Daniel's three friends and throw them in a fire. But somehow they escape without their clothes even being burnt, and a fourth figure is spotted in the fire with them. So finally, Nebuchadnezzar bows down to their God and says, "Okay, that there's got to be something to this God." And Daniel has warned him that if he doesn't, his kingdom is going to fall apart. So Nebuchadnezzar does, but his son does not. And as Daniel continues to refuse to bow down to the king, he's thrown in a lion's den of hungry lions, but miraculously he escapes without a single bite. The lions are just not hungry and their mouths just shut up. So then Daniel has a dream, and an angel comes and interprets his dream. And it's about the coming of Messiah that will save the world. Now, Israel was supposed to have been held captive for 70 years due to punishment for disobedience and refusing to give up their idols and the worship of other gods. But now it's said that because of the continued disobedience, they're going to be held 7 times longer, so 70 times 7. So the book of Daniel to me is just a really shows how your faith can be tested and how you can be persecuted when you stand fast for your faith, but how God will always be there and always see you through it and save you.